Alrighty, so last video you saw me going over the list of everything. I am going to start tackling that list now. So I'm actually going to start by doing something that's not on the list. I had bought a dirt cheap $30 aftermarket T56 shifter, and the throws were like that short, and it wouldn't center itself like this does, and it was just it was awful. I hated it, and took a lot of effort to get it in because it was such a short throw. So I was like, all right, well, you know what? I'm just going to buy a stock shifter, a cheap stock shifter, just get it in there. So that's what I did. I went on eBay again and found a stock F-body shifter, and which is awesome. I'm finally getting something that I could just bolt on. I don't have to worry about freaking modifying and making my own and all that. So I get it in, and this is it. I've already done this work, so I can't go through that. But it turns out it is not a stock F-body shifter. It is from, after a little bit of research, a mid-90s, something like that, Mustang. So it didn't fit. I was able to re-drill these holes, modify the bottom of it a little bit, and then make my, it's not going to show up, but made my arm coming off of it, and I got it to work. It's flush, it works, and maybe I just invented a short throw because the throws are pretty short. Nice and notchy feeling. But it feels a lot better. So I have $30 into a stock Mustang T45 or T5 or whatever shifter, and I got to position it just a little bit better. So if you see it in relation to the e-brake, it's pretty much like stock. So there's the shifter debacle, phase 13. Alright, so now at the front of the car. Next item on the list was to get this whole front piece solidified. If you remember, I made this whole piece removable, so this whole front section pulls out. Headlight buckets, this whole thing, awesome. Makes the whole front of the car open. And I went to do that, and it was sitting way too low. This whole piece was down. So that was annoying. And once I got it all leveled, I realized that there's a gap in between the, not here because that's bent down, but on the inside, there's a gap from the bottom of this. So I don't know if, well, maybe that could just bend down a little bit. I don't know. I have to figure that out. Maybe I'll wait till I get the headlights mounted so I can get that all flush and then mount it. I mean, it's sitting pretty well now. And then I went to do the hood latch. It looks like I cut the horn wiring at some point. I went to do the hood latch, and I get down here, I tighten this, and then the bolt snaps in there. It's like, okay, fine, another bolt-on piece breaks, and now I got to drill out. And I ended up, oops, where is it? Yeah, you can't tell, but ended up welding, drilled out a hole and welded a nut in there. So that is good to go. And next, I started to come up with some makeshift exhaust. If you recall, doing 3-inch merging to a single 3.5, and I started to just throw together this Y pipe. It's not the best, but this is temporary. I've got some pretty cool exhaust thing that I'm going to do in the future. So I just threw together, started to tack up, pretty ugly, but started to tack up a 3-inch to 3.5-inch merge. It actually looks pretty nice on the inside, so that'll work. And then I got a muffler. Hang on. Which I ordered wrong. It was way bigger than I thought it was. I even measured, and then when I got it in, it's like, ah, crap. Screwed that up. So the original idea was to put this sort of in the middle of the car, and then have a cutout after this, and then it would go to the stock exhaust, so it would still muffle halfway through when I open the cutout. This is going to be too quiet. I already bought it, so I might just replace the stock muffler with this one and just have 3.5-inch all the way back, and then do a cutout in the middle again. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a straight through muffler, but the thing's huge. So that might just replace the stock muffler. So that's where I'm at with that. What am I gonna do next? Yeah, I don't know. I'll continue down the list. Maybe I'll tackle wiring on the inside because it was sort of rigged up there. I'm gonna pop the hood too. All right, I actually took the day off work today, so on that thing, I am going to start to build the exhaust. I am going with, here, you know what, let me just flip the camera around and show you. So I have the headers done. And it goes down to there. And that one, so you can see pretty well. And then what I have done, so in the future I'm going to do some pretty different wild exhaust setup. But for now, I am going to just do, you can see, 3-inch. It's going to go and it's going to Y into a single 3.5-inch pipe. That's going to go, and it's going to have a 3.5-inch muffler sort of in the middle, and then there'll be a cutout after that muffler, and then on the other side of the cutout though, it will go to the stock catback. So it'll be nice and quiet until I open the cutout. And I just threw together, just sort of made my own merge pipe here with the 3-inch piping to a 3.5-inch pipe. And if it's not the most efficient, it'll still be all right. It'll work. But 3-inch to 3.5-inch merge pipes are kind of ridiculously expensive. Anyway, I'm gonna start on that now. This is gonna be a video of me actually doing stuff during the video. I haven't done that for a while. So I think I'll start with that side. All right, this is turning out good. Can you guess which side I worked on? Doop. Over there. I ended up working on the driver's side this time. And it's turning out pretty good. Got it tacked up. It's a nice snug fit. And yeah. Whoa. Turning out good. All right, ground clearance, bueno. To the other side there. This side's not quite as glorious. So what I've been using is, for a lot of the bends, look at this thing. I bought this turbo kit a long time ago. I think it was for a truck. But this guy threw something together. But I bought the turbo kit really, really cheap because of the fact that it came with an AEM True Boost and all this kind of stuff. So I bought it for all the accessories, and then I've been cutting up. Here you go. Here's a view. I've been cutting it up and using the 3-inch piping for the bends. So some of the pipes on the passenger side are dirty, so it doesn't look as glorious, but once I clean it up, it'll be good. And I also had to, well, I was cutting things up, and then this is probably the best weld that he did, but I didn't feel like, you know, cutting that out and avoiding those welds, so I just left it. But you can see the mishmash. So this is both sides have a 3-inch adapter, so outside to inside diameter. And there's part of the old turbo kit, there's part of the old turbo kit, there's part of the old turbo kit. And I screwed up and ordered stainless instead of mild. So from here it's going to be stainless, which isn't ideal to mate the two, but it doesn't really matter for this purpose. But once that cleans up, it'll look good. But I have exhaust going both sides now. So now I sort of just need to go to the back of the transmission and then come to the Y for the 3.5-inch. Alright. Update. My neck is hurting from propping up this whole time. So, there's that. Goes all the way back and into the Y. I took this off just to finish up a little bit more of the welds. This side's not done. That'll go to about there. And then I just need to now connect those two. And then, so this will go, here you go, you'll follow the exhaust. You'll go. Right? And then that's 3.5 inch. And it'll go straight down the tunnel there. This sucks. But it's there. Holy moly. All right. Oh. It's drooping down a tad bit just from the weight of it. It has a little wiggle room, so you can see. Still, even with it drooping, it's good. But here we go. We got. Oh. There. I had to smash the side here a little bit, so when I go to finish weld it, I'll be hammering this in too, and it'll all be gravy from there. So it looks ugly now, but that's because it has to be smashed. I'll probably grind this edge right here a little bit too. Not too shabby. And I'm not going to win any fabrication awards. Ow. But it's on there, drooping down a little bit, just a tad, but not much. And then you can see the 3.5 inch merge. Then it goes straight back from there. There you go. Alrighty, I need to get that bumper painted. Anyway, back underneath the car, we got exhaust is on there. Check out that ground clearance. Perfect. It's pretty much just stock, right? That's awesome. Now, let's go underneath. I'm in my work clothes, so I'm gonna basically be doing a plank when I go under here, so I'll probably be out of breath. So this is, like I said, dual 3 inch to a single 3.5. It's done with a flux core welder. I was out of argon in the mix for my MIG, so I said screw it, I wanted to get it done, and just built it with a flux core, which is doable. You know, all you people who only have flux core welders, you know, it's not going to be super sexy, but it'll get the job done. It'll seal. So there we go. I need to clean up that splatter. But back here, and here I go in a plank. That's 3.5 inch, and that goes to the back to the stock exhaust. You can see the shiny bit right there? That is where it necks down to the stock exhaust. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a resonator right here, a bullet muffler, something like that, 3.5 inch or 4 inch, and then I will have my cutout open right after that. So it'll sort of dump right there. So whenever I want to make big power or be loud and obnoxious, I can open that cutout. It'll still be going through a resonator, so I guess it'll be maybe a little bit quieter. Yeah, not really. So there's that. Pretty happy with how that turned out. What's next? Next is got two adapters in here for the water pressure sensor, which is water temperature sensor, which is going the back of the block there. Little adapter for the sensor there, and the oil pressure goes close-ish down there. Oh wait, there it is. Actually, you can see it. This little piece right there on the block. That's where the oil pressure sensor goes. And I'm going to install those gauges. I'll be doing that next. Probably won't put that on video. I could just show you. Well, maybe I will. Moving into the interior, I can show you the stuff we've done there. If you remember correctly, I had messed with stuff inside this airbag, right? And, oh yeah, and you can see starting to put some of the interior back together. And behind this airbag is the UCU. modified just the stock plastic mount from an F-body and just mounted that in there. It's fine. And I've got the fuse box. I have an OBD2 port that I just bought, or connector or whatever. I'm gonna mount that right here. So then whenever it's time to tune or diagnose or whatever, pop that off and plug it in. I'm going to do the 3 aftermarket gauges here, replace the stock ones. I have, and I don't know what order yet, but water temperature, oil pressure, and I bought a boost gauge for, I'll be, you know, force induction in the future, but I'm not going to be now. With that said, if I'm going to be pulling those things out, I might as well do all 3. So I ordered the gauge. I'll be a poser, it'll be in there, and I will have no boost. I'll have a air fuel wideband sometime in the future. Maybe I'll just do a single one on the pillar at the bottom. But that's that. This thing will be pretty easy to make it solid. It's already pretty firm in there, but I'll come up with a quick disconnect of some sort so that it doesn't fly off. But I'm happy with that. I think that turned out cool. I don't know if I said this in the other videos, but I watch other car videos and I'm like, geez, those people, you know, they're working with these cars and they're so filthy. Can't they just wipe it down really quick? And then I look at here, and it's like that was from when a mouse was in here. This thing is just disgusting. I may have already shown you, but did I show you the new shifter? So that's neutral. You can see where that sits. Flawless. Very happy with that too. And you can see how tight that is. But it fits. And this piece even fits. I just had to bend one thing, but that fits in there. The radio will fit singled in, or maybe some Apple CarPlay or some crap, I don't know. In the future. But that's where I stand. I'll just go ahead and post this video, I think. Even though technically there's not a ton that was done. I don't really know. I have to review what I've recorded. There's the OBD2 port. I'll just go ahead and edit and post this video. And then the next video, I'll do the gauges. That'll be a good one. I still got the list. I'll go over that real quick again. Because also that's almost done. Fuel pump wiring, just got to finish that up. Cooling fans. Yeah, still need to do those. You know what? You don't care about all this. Only thing I added was this. Drive shaft bolts. I went and looked at the rear diff, and the drive shaft's being held in by 2 bolts right now. All right. See you in the next